Item number 4.1, resolution approved by we have a drawing here. 4.1 is the agreement of Neil Offner. We have a nice little drawing here. And with that, we have a recommendation by Rob, you want to fill us in on this, a little bit about what this is all about?
Sure, Mr. Mayor. Approximately a year ago, the executive board of the redevelopment agency entered into an exclusive negotiating agreement with Neil Arthur and Associates regarding the Rare Street property and the property currently occupied by the Performing Arts Center. And it was for the purpose of bringing a four-star hotel to the city of El Cajon. With the demise of the redevelopment agency, those redevelopment agency parcels could not be part of the exclusive negotiating agreement. And also, the developer was pretty much hamstrung for the last 6 months of last year and couldn't negotiate in good faith with us because of the restriction or the stay from the Supreme Court where no activity with the redevelopment agency and no DDAs could be entered into. So the staff recommendation is that the developer has proposed to negotiate exclusively over the parcel that the Performing Arts Center is in for the purposes of putting a four-star hotel on that site. That's it in a nutshell. Melissa and I can answer any questions. The developer's here, and I think he wants to speak on the item. So we'll try to answer any questions you have.
Okay, any questions of staff? Okay, Bill?
If we were to enter into this agreement, would it preclude us from any kind of reopening of the theater right now, or leasing out to other entities to run?
During the 6-month negotiating period, essentially yes. You're not committing to the end result here at this meeting. You're committing to negotiate exclusively with this developer, and it would preclude any other use of the theater during that 6-month negotiating period.
Okay. Kathy, any other cards?
Just Neil Arthur, I have one.
I'm going to give you one.
Mayor Lewis, members of the council, staff, I think Rob really wrapped it up in a nutshell. As he said, it was approximately a little bit more than a year ago we entered into an agreement to develop a four-star hotel on Magnolia and Ray, and we didn't see the governor coming. We had no idea he had those kind of plans. So subsequent to the Supreme Court decision, we were hamstringed. Like typical El Cajonians, if there is, we bent, but we did not break. And your staff did an excellent job, and I want to commend them for keeping us together. And then former councilwoman Jillian Hanson Cox said, you know what, Neil? We have, as part of your E&A, we have the Performing Arts Center. And we thought, well, you know, we already own that land. We can possibly put together a four-star hotel on that site. We went back, we did some planning, and it'll work. And I brought with me, if you would indulge me, Mr. Larry Kimball with West America Corporation, who will be our developer, and his record of hotel development is too long to be longer than the process. So if you'll indulge me just a few minutes, I'll show you where we are in our process right now.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Council, City Staff, my name is Larry Kimball. I'm with West America Corporation. I'd like to just give you a brief overview of our conceptual plan for this project. West America Corporation is a San Diego-based general contractor. We propose operating the design-build team with the architect A.C. Atherton. So this design-build project delivery method would accelerate the delivery of the hotel on an integrated design basis. We like the site, and I personally met with Neil Arthur and the Marriott Senior Vice President last week, and they are fully behind this brand of a courtyard for El Cajon. What is a West America Corporation? Again, we are design build general contractor. We have developed many hotels. Mike Schmidt, who has a lot of experience, he's our vice president of operations. He would be the on-site project manager. This project addresses some of your specific concerns that are in the downtown specific guidelines. First of all, we would be employing sustainable building practices. And second of all, we would participate in Marriott's certified program to achieve LEED designation for this courtyard grant. Secondly, we've got a couple of stated objectives we can address specifically, which is we think that what you'll see next is an inviting ground for public visitors, and it's a pedestrian-oriented type of project. The existing site, as you know, right outside, could become something with a Courtyard by Marriott. The brand of Courtyard by Marriott is their most successful brand. There are 900 hotels globally in the area. It's a business hotel, leisure traveler attractive. They've got some interesting concepts, probably the most interesting concept on food and beverage delivery in a focus service hotel. And it's a technology cutting edge oriented brand. The guest rooms we're proposing here is a 107 room hotel, 4 stories, with all of the amenities you would expect in a 4-star hotel. And that gives you a flavor and a feel for what a typical guest room would be. Working desk for business travelers or leisure travelers. And there's everything that you want to carry and plug in, your iPhone, iPod, or whatever, could be on the television as well as sound system in the rooms. This is hard to see, but it shows kind of conceptual site layout. I'll blow this up as you can see, but you would enter on the right-hand side from Main, turn left as you got in here today, and you would go past an interesting little area. Again, this kind of blows it up. As you go on up the drive, you pass a water feature, which is on the street level. You would turn in and kind of drive up on an elevated driveway to the level of the lobby, and then you would go down into the parking structure beneath. This shows the Performing Arts Center multi-purpose room area up towards the top, which is at the current grade level of the City Hall Plaza here, and the rest is an overview of the hotel. You've got an exterior corridor. When you walk in the lobby, you look right through. You've got a connection to the pool area, so it's a great little outdoor lounge area kind of idea. This gives you a couple of elevations. The top picture shows if you were driving off of Main Street and turned into the driveway here on the far left is the parking structure you enter below. And as you go further towards the right on the above photo, you would turn left and drive up to the finished floor level of the hotel. As you can see, it's a 4-story, somewhat of an interesting architecture. The picture below shows a different perspective, as if you were on Main Street looking back towards the City Hall, which is the large building mass on the left. And so the multi-purpose room would be the one on the far left, and then you see the perspective of the hotel. So we'd like to be able to keep the existing area pedestrian friendly and bring a courtyard to this hotel site very soon. If there are any questions I'd like to answer them, or Mr. Neil Arthur.
Thank you, Larry. And before we answer any questions, I also want to tell you that I have talked to several franchises about coming to the downtown area of El Cajon, and we talked about the hotel, and every time their response was, when you get your hotel, call me back. So this hotel is intended to be the queen of the fleet. It will redo our downtown effectively. We have a beautiful downtown. Sometimes we don't appreciate our own selves like others do. And I think the future of El Cajon is very, very bright. We need developments like this. And now I'm speaking out of turn. I don't know. I have to ask staff. There's a lot of work to be done, Rob, before we get to the point where the Performing Arts Center will be impacted. As a developer who would have the NA if this board so fit, we would be more than willing to work with whoever you determine would be using the hotel. Can I make that? Can I say that?
Conceptually, yes, but some of the issues have to do with some of the maintenance issues in the Performing Arts Center and what it would actually take to open it up. It would probably take some money invested in that to even open it up on a temporary basis at this point.
Okay, but I would be willing to do outside of the staff saying whatever is necessary to cooperate with the city. And I think it's very important that you know we've made tremendous progress. And a lot of that's because of doing staff. We had to move from that site to this site. So we're going to go forward. This will not be a process that is long in the months coming.
Because one of the things that we were always anticipating was that the ECPAC was sort of outdated, because we always had competition from the Indian reservations, because they had the money with the gambling, and they had smaller venues. And one of the things that we always lost money on was the fact that we were subsidizing a lot of the rentals. And so our concept was, in fact, was a smaller performing arts center, basically. So one of the things that we were visualizing was a hotel, but with a performing arts center attached to it, something similar to Monterey. We had a hotel with a performing arts center, something like with the 800 seat. And Joan Clark Center comes to mind, where you can combine things together, and along with the capacity with the serving areas too as well. So we have we call it the word catering too as well. So you can have a special accommodation catering events and that type of stuff. But anyway, so could that be something you can put back in your mind, because I know that goes a long way to certify in the community. Because there's a great deal of support for the Performing Arts Center. And I don't know how the feeling is with the council, but I do know that the community has a great deal of love for the Performing Arts Center. And I do know that they start seeing the hotel, which is something that I love as a mayor, but I do know there's a lot of community support for the Performing Arts Center. And when you see the hotel, I thought the hotel was going to come on this property that we own here, but I know that the redevelopment area we lost. And I do know the rationale behind it, because the governor, a lot of people don't believe it, the governor took away the redevelopment money. So be it, we have to live with it. So a lot of people don't believe it, but we do. We have to live with what changes the governor, which was a Democrat, by the way. And so we have to live with that. I don't necessarily believe it, but we have to live with that. So anyway, it's hard to believe, Bob, but he is a Democrat. Anyway, we have to live with that. But anyway, until there's some changes. But anyway, we have to live with that. But anyway, so be it. Anyway, so when we put together this Marriott deal drawings that we can work with, perhaps a compromise, this approval drawing, let's go forward. Somehow you can incorporate like a 650 or 800 somehow drawing within this drawing, the Performing Arts Center. Because I read your paperwork here. You have the performance, you know, with a portable stage, but more of a stage somewhere, a little more sturdier with a portable stage.
I hear you, Mayor Lewis. And in this bipartisan hotel, we're up in the top left-hand corner, the multi-purpose room. That's what we're really determining. We're hoping to be able to bring the same effect, because we recognize and we're being very sensitive to the idea that this Performing Arts Center, while it is, you say, outdated and maybe too large, we were going to use that portion right there. And the two rooms right behind it would be for convention kinds of conferences.
Right.
Up to 300 people. We would open it up and have a bigger space.
Right.
But if you don't like the moving stage, we'll work on that, because we're very sensitive to that. And as I say, we've got an opportunity now to continue to work with the design that this council likes, because we feel like we're working for you on this. So I will be very sensitive to that, and we'll come back to you with maybe more detail.
Right, a little bit larger.
A little bit larger than 500. We'll work on that. board on it.
Because another community, because the gardens that we have right now, capacity, and we've lost many sales to neighboring areas because we didn't have the capacity. Largest we have now is like 500 seats, and either to Middle East community or so we're just losing sales, and we're not being very competitive, and we're losing a lot of sales. So I'd hate to see someone establishing a hotel, even though it may be a Marriott or whatever, here in our community, and losing sales because they didn't have a hotel there that could not have people living there, staying overnight, and not being able to host a suitable sized community. So that's just my own personal feeling.
Thank you, Mayor Lewis. We'll be very cognizant of that, be very sensitive to that, and we'll come back to you again in the future.
And we vote to as well.
Yes, I'm clear.
Bob is here.
How many will the theater seat if you, as it's
Well,
drawn now?
As it's drawn right there, we'll be 300 there, 400 for a grant classroom, but that's just the first draft that we're bringing to you now, and I'm appreciating your input. This was 1145, and that was a little bit too big. If 400 is not enough, we'll look at it again.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the perfect size is. I know we are competing a lot with the casinos around, and that's a tough competition because they have all that gambling money, and we don't have that.
It's true.
We have tax dollars, but we have limited tax dollars that we can use. And most of them are used for police and fire and necessary services for the city of El Cajon, which is what cities are supposed to do. So anyway, this we want to keep the integrity of the performing arts also. So.
I agree.
Here?
Well, since the governor took millions of dollars of our redevelopment money, we have to be creative in how we redevelop now. And this is a creative plan. I met with Neil last week for the first time, and he provided me with some documentation regarding HBS. They're a industry-renowned feasibility company, and they're independent. They're not, part of the developer. And they said that this was a feasible project. So that means a lot to me, putting on my real estate appraiser's hat, because what I don't want to have happen is we have something that's economically unfeasible, let's say like the 2 hotels they built years ago down in National City that were just a complete bust. They were the wrong product in the wrong place. And we have the experts telling us that this will work. I am concerned that we provide for the performing arts in this project. And one thing I do know is that at the convention center in Escondido is somewhat similar to this room that's being planned for the performing arts. That's actually a moneymaker for the city, because the city of El Cajon can't afford to subsidize a theater to the tune of several $100,000 a year like we did in the past. We just don't have the money anymore. It's a new day. So the number one priority is it must be economically feasible. And then number 2 is we meet the needs of the performing arts community and other citizens of El Cajon in this project.
Thank you, Councilman Kendrick. I am aware it's going to be costly. We're going to work on it. This is, let's say, just a draft. All I'm asking you today is not to commit to anything greater than continuing the E&A with my company so we can continue to move forward. I just don't want to lose any momentum. The staff has been great. The architects have been great. The construction company has been great. And if we start to lose momentum, other people will start to go in other directions. We do not want to lose this opportunity in El Cajon. So I'll be back to you again with something I hope will make you more excited than you were today.
Bill?
Before you leave now, if we had the opportunity to have an operator come in who wanted to use the theater in the period of time that you're developing this and gaining financing, is there a way we could work that out so that we could use the theater instead of have to sit vacant right now?
I would say absolutely yes, but I'm going to look back to Rob again. If you're asking me what my position is,
Well, I mean, you'd have to agree to that.
I'm on board. I'm part of the community.
Have to have the attorney and our city manager tell me if it's feasible or legal.
It's feasible and legal. As Mr. Arthur said, he's willing to look at that. I would, the only hedge I would make is we need to go back through the building, and there probably will be some money we'll need to spend in order to put it in a presentable state for, a safe state for shows to start again. I mean, the building's been closed for 18 months now, so.
I'm fine.
Yeah, that's fine, because I'm actually talking to some people right now who are interested in putting a proposal together, and I wouldn't want to not have them be able to do that while we're, because I figure this is gonna be at least a, 2-3 year process before we break ground.
How long, Mary? How long, not 2 or 3 years? No, we don't plan to be 2 or 3 years. We plan to be sleeping there at the end of, what, 14 months, 18 months?
Excellent.
That's what we're planning.
Give me
But
like Howard
if you
Hughes,
ask me,
live on the top floor.
I'm sorry?
Give me like Howard Hughes, live on the top floor.
If he's still around, and he has some money left, we're not giving it away. But at the same time, if you ask me would I participate and cooperate, absolutely.
Thanks, I don't know that anything's gonna happen, I just wanted to have my options.
Would count me in.
All right, thank you.
We good? More questions? Thank you very much.
Bill, Bob.
Question for Bob or Rob. What do you suppose it would take to do the necessary things for being able to use that for another group or something? And plan to use it in the meantime?
We really have to go through the building. I think we're talking, I don't know, maybe $20,000-$25,000 to go through it and make sure everything's in working order and get the building ready to be occupied again.
Okay, thank you.
If there are no further questions, I thank you.
Kathy, do you have any cards?
I have 2 more. I have John Martin.
John? Just the microphone, please.
Hi, my name is John Martis, and I'd like to warn you guys, this is a hot potato, a real hot potato. Rob put on a dog and pony show about 1.5 years on what we could do with the theater. There was a lot of people that came. I was there, okay? And they're very fervent about it. This is a hot potato. You better be careful, because you could all be recalled, and it wouldn't take much to do that if you mess this up. And I'm telling you that right now. Okay, I'm serious, because I never saw community support like I did for that theater in alcohol in all the years I've lived here. So just be cautious. Yeah, and I would say to you, it only cost $25,000 now, after 1.5 years, when you were talking $500,000 to get the theater back in shape. I'm a little surprised. You know, I'm wondering if I can believe any of you guys anymore when you tell me things, when you have these community forums and tell me anything. Can I believe you? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I respond?
Go ahead.
Apples and oranges. I mean, the question you guys just asked me, as I understand it, was what would it take to temporarily open it again for local performances versus what we proposed before, which is renovating the theater to last through another 30-year life cycle and put it in a standard for professional acts.
Ken?
Ray Lutz.
Okay, Ray Lutz for the Citizens Oversight. The only citizen that sat through all of the Blue Ribbon Commission meetings, and even some of the Blue Ribbon Commissioners didn't show up, about the theater. Back when it was turned over to Christian Community Theater, and they just basically ran it into the ground. They used it for a lot of practicing and and the like, where they weren't actually using it for their performances, and they basically misused it. It's embarrassing to see that kind of organization use a public property like that. It's a little bit embarrassing to see that the city ignores this asset out here the way you guys have. You've ignored it. You let it go down into ruin. You act like re-roofing is some sort of a special big project Every building in the city should have scheduled re-roofing. It should be part of a general maintenance plan. Shouldn't need redevelopment money to re-roof a place. But yet you just ignore it. You let it leak and the things snowball and you get worse and worse. And then it's millions of dollars to get it back into order. You didn't have to do that. That thing could have been running the whole time. It could have been open this whole time. Instead, at least Rosemont Community Concerts has moved down to Joan Croc. They're changing their name to San Diego Community Concerts. They don't want any part of this town anymore. Because why should they? They get jerked around over and over. And you know, you're not going to be able to get performances to come in for just a few months. Now look, this town has needed a hotel for a long time. Not to denigrate the other hotels, but they're not that great. I mean, we needed a better hotel here for a long time. Especially when you get performers coming into a big theater, they say, where am I going to stay? Well, Mission Valley, you know, go to one of the better hotels. So it'd be nice to have that in here, but you know, let's try to make, if you're going to do this, I'm concerned about the use of public property for these private operators. If you're leasing it to private operators, we have public property out here for the public good, not for people to make a profit in their private operation. That's not what it's for. This is public space, and this should stay public space. That theater was for the public good, owned by the city for public good, and you could have had a good bunch of theater road shows in there had you kept it open and done the deal. We watched the guy talk about how good it could be. So I'm wondering who's getting the payoff here from the hotel industry to put it to let this public asset go into private hands now, because this would be yet one more piece of the public space that's deteriorated into private hands, and it's a sad sight to see. So I don't think this is the right place for
Thank you, your
hotel.
time is up. Kathy?
That's all the cards I have on there.
All right. Okay, my